Iowa for, this is personal, is we understood when I announced for president that it was absolutely imperative that we do well here in Iowa. You're the first caucus, the first votes in the Democratic primary process took place right here. And we knew that if we did not do well here, it is likely the campaign would not have gone very far. We ran all over this state, and we met with so many people, tens of thousands of beautiful Iowans, great people in this state. And we ended up on election night here splitting the number of pledged delegates with Hillary Clinton. And as a result of that, a week later we won in New Hampshire. As a result of that, we ended up winning 22 states around this country. And as a result of all of that, as Tom just mentioned, we ended up writing the most progressive party platform in the history of the United States. And you all made that happen. You all made that happen. I want you to read it. Go to the web. It's democrats.org. Read this document, because the importance of this document is we're not going to let it sit on a shelf. We are going to incorporate those ideas into legislation to transform America. Iowa, thank you for making it happen. But I suspect this will end up being a very close election. Could be decided nationally by a few electoral votes, and those votes could be here in Iowa. So I hope very much in the next 4 days you will do everything you can to bring your friends out, your family out. Let's win Iowa for Secretary Clinton. The second point that I want to make is equally important, and that is to tell you what most public officials don't. Politics is not just what happens on election day. What I'm asking of you is, after we elect Secretary Clinton, I'm asking you the day after to roll up your sleeves, bring your friends into the political process. Let's create a vibrant democracy. Let us transform this country. Not Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, Tom Harkin, or anybody else can do it alone. We are taking on now unbelievably powerful, greedy people whose greed is destroying this country. Our job together is to tell them America belongs to all of us, not just a handful of billionaires. Media doesn't do a particularly good job reporting this, and you may or may not know it. But what is going on this week alone is that the billionaire class is pouring millions and millions of dollars into Senate and House races all across this country. Just came the other day from Wisconsin, where my friend Russ Feingold is running for. They are pouring $7 million in one Citizens United Supreme Court decision. Is a situation where the Koch brothers, Sheldon Adelson, and a handful of billionaires are spending hundreds of millions of dollars to purchase candidates who will represent their interests, not the interests of the American people.
Fuck that.
And if you want, well, that's one way to phrase it. If you want to know, there are many, many differences, and I'm going to get into it, between Secretary Clinton and Mr. Trump. But maybe the most important is Secretary Clinton has made it very clear that no nominee of hers to the Supreme Court will get that position unless he or she is clear they will vote to overturn Citizens United. Secretary Clinton also told me to tell you that within the first 100 days of her administration, she will bring forth a constitutional amendment to overturn Citizens United. in a democracy, people disagree with each other, and that's a good thing. We could always learn from somebody else. But too many people in Iowa and Vermont and throughout this country, people like Tom Harkin, have put their lives on the line to defend American democracy. And we will not allow the Koch brothers and a handful of other billionaires to convert this country into an oligarchy. Ain't gonna happen. All of the issues that I worry about, my main worry is that I am seeing every single day an economy which is controlled by fewer and fewer large corporations and wealthy individuals, and as a result of Citizens United, a political system controlled by a handful of billionaires. Our job is not only to overturn Citizens United, it is to do everything we can in every way to create a vibrant democracy where we have one of the highest rates of voter turnout, not one of the lowest rates. Only Citizens United that is corrupting our democracy. You have cowardly Republican governors and legislatures all over this country who are working overtime trying to suppress the vote. I would hope that in our country, that honest people would say, look, I'm going to run for office based on my ideas. I'm going to do the best to convince you to vote for me. And if I win, that's great. And if I lose, that's the will of the people. I would hope that we would not have governors who would be so cowardly and so afraid of their own ideas not resonating with people that they believe the only way they can win elections is to deny poor people or old people or young people or people of color the right to vote. That is not the Our job is to make it easier for people to participate in the political process, not harder. And if I have anything to say about it, and I do, I will fight to get legislation or a constitutional amendment passed, which says one very simple thing. If you're 18 years of age in America and you're a citizen, you have the right to vote. End of discussion. When we talk about the political revolution, what it means is I want you all to be giving thoughts about running for office. And don't tell me you don't know enough, you're not smart enough. I work in the United States Senate. You're plenty smart. But that's what it means. It means people saying, oh, you know what? I am going to run for the school board. I'm going to run for city council. I'm going to run for state legislature, Congress, Senate, governor, whatever it may be, president. Understand that in democracy, the people have the right to determine the future. But we are not going to determine the future unless people are actively involved in the political process. When millions of us stand together and fight for a progressive vision, there is nothing we cannot accomplish, and that is what we have to do. In Iowa, you got some wonderful people who work really, really hard, who are good parents, decent human beings, who are going to vote for Donald Trump. And I want to say a word to them. You're angry and you're hurting. I know that. And you have a right to be angry. You have a right to be frustrated and disgusted with the fact that we have the worst income and wealth inequality of any major country on earth. You have the right to be angry when you are working 2 or 3 jobs and 52% of all new income generated today is going to the top 1%. You have the right to be angry that in America, if you're a young couple, you cannot find good quality, affordable childcare. And you're worried about whether or not you could send your kid to college. And you're worried that if you're 60 years of age, you may not have a nickel in the bank as you reach retirement age. And you're right to be upset that the company that you work for shut down in America and went for cheap labor abroad. I understand that. But take your anger out on the right people. Let's take our anger out on the greed and recklessness of Wall Street that nearly destroyed our economy. Take your anger out on the fossil fuel industry, who worry more about their short-term profits than the future of our planet. Take your anger out on the pharmaceutical industry, who make billions in profit and charge us the highest prices in the world for the medicine we desperately need. So to those Iowans, those people in this beautiful, beautiful state who are thinking of voting for Mr. Trump, let me just run through the issues. Now, too often what the media does is make campaigns a personality contest. We are not voting for president of the senior class in the local high school. This is not a personality contest. People don't like Trump, people don't like Clinton. I get it. But go beyond the personality. Look at the issues and how they impact your lives. Don't worry about Hillary. Don't worry about Trump. Worry about your own families. If you are in Iowa and you're working out for 10 or 11 bucks an hour, there is one candidate who wants to raise the minimum wage to a living wage. That candidate is Hillary Clinton. Sick and tired of making 79 cents on the dollar compared to men, there is one candidate running for president who believes in pay equity, equal pay for equal work. That's Hillary Clinton. Now, my hope is and has always been that the American people will think big, not small. Take a look around the world, learn from what goes on in other countries. And if you do that, you'll find some interesting facts. And that is that all over the world, in every major country and almost every poor country, if a woman has a baby, she is able to stay home with that baby for many, many months in order to get to nurture and love that baby. If you study the issue, you'll find there is only one major country on earth that does not guarantee paid family and medical leave. You're living in that country. That has got to change. Hillary Clinton believes in 12 weeks paid family and medical leave. Donald Trump does not. And the Republicans in the committee passed doing away with the Affordable Care Act. I asked the chairman, I said, Mr. Chairman, tell me, if you throw 20 million Americans off of health insurance, how many of them will die? How many of them will get much sicker than they otherwise should have? We got no answer at all. And in fact, they don't care. So our job, my friends, is not to throw 20 million people off of health insurance, which is what Trump wants. Our job is to join the rest of the industrialized world and guarantee health care to all people as a right.